Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me here today. It is an honor to speak on a topic that is one of the most pressing issues of our time, the climate change. Over the past few decades, the climate crisis has evolved from a scientific concern to a global emergency that touches every facet of our lives, our health, our economies, and the very ecosystem that sustain us. Today, I want to share with you why is climate change so urgent, the impact it's having right now, and most importantly, what we can do about it. Because while the challenge is vast, the solutions are within our reach. Let's start with the basics. Climate change refers to a significant changes in global temperatures and weather patterns over time. While the Earth's climate has always fluctuated naturally, human activities, especially the burning of fossil fuels like coal, oil, and natural gas, are accelerating this process. These activities release greenhouse gases, such as carbon dioxide and methane, into the atmosphere, trapping heat and warming the planet. This is what we call the greenhouse effect. The evidence of this overwhelming, according to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change or IPCC. The global temperature has already risen by approximately 1.1 degrees Celsius since the pre-industrial era. It may not seem like much, but this seemingly small change has already had profound consequences. And if we don't take urgent action, the temperature could rise by as much as 3 to 4 degrees Celsius by the end of the century. Now you might be thinking, what does this mean for me or for us? The impact of climate change is already being felt across the globe in ways that are often hard to ignore. First, let's talk about extreme weather events. Rising temperatures are fueling more intense hot heat waves, longer droughts, and more frequent and severe storms. Just think of the devastating wildfires in California, the catastrophic floods in Pakistan, or the hurricanes in the Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico. This event not only caused loss of life, but also devastate communities and economies, and put millions of people in harm's way. Climate change is also disrupting ecosystems. Coral reefs, often referred to as the rainforest of the sea, are bleaching and dying due to warmer oceans and temperatures. This is not only threatens marine life, but also the millions of people who depend on the oceans for food and livelihood. Similarly, polar ice caps are melting, causing sea levels to rise and threatening coastal cities and small islands nations with flooding. But it's not just the environment that is suffering. The health of climate change are profound. Warmer temperatures contribute to the spread of diseases like malaria and dengue fever, while air pollution worsened by climate change causes respiratory diseases and exacerbates conditions like asthma. Food security is also under threat as shifting weather patterns and extreme events threaten crop production and disrupt food distribution. The reality is that climate change is largely driven by human activities. Industrialization, deforestation, and our reliance on fossil fuels have put our planet on this destructive path. We are seeing the results of centuries of disregard for nature, and now we must take responsibility. But it's not all doom and gloom. There is a silver lining here. We still have the ability to change the course of our time. The most important step is acknowledging that climate change is real, it's urgent, and it's within our power to stop it. So, what can we do, or what we can do? The solutions are vast and varied as the problem itself, from individual actions to international policies. Every effort counts. First is to transition to renewable energy. The biggest contributor to climate change is the burning of fossil fuels for energy. But we have the technology to move toward cleaner, renewable sources of energy like solar, wind, and hydropower. Governments must invest in renewable energy infrastructure, and individuals can support the shift by using energy more efficiently and opting for green energy sources when possible. Conserve energy and protect natural resources. Forests act as a massive carbon sink, the absorbing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Yet, deforestation continues at an alarming rate. Protecting our forests, replanting trees, and adopting sustainable agricultural practices are critical to maintaining a balance in our ecosystem. Third is adopt a sustainable lifestyle. On an individual level, we can all make a difference. Let me excuse first. To continue, reducing waste, recycling, eating less meat, and driving less are simple changes that can reduce our carbon footprint. Every action, no matter how small, helps. Fourth is political advocacy and policy change. The governments around the world must commit to stronger environmental policies. This includes setting ambitious emissions reduction targets, investing in sustainable infrastructure, and ensuring that climate justice is at the forefront of international negotiations. Citizens have a powerful voice through advocacy, voting, and supporting green policies. Fifth and last is climate adaptation and resilience. We must also prepare for the impacts of climate change that are already underway. This includes building resilient communities that can withstand extreme weather events and ensuring that vulnerable populations are protected. One of the most important lessons in the fight against climate change is that no one can do it alone. It's not just governments or scientists or activists, it's all of us. Change will come when people from all walks of life, from every corner of the globe, come together to demand action and push for sustainable solutions. The youth movements we see today, like for Future, led by Greta Thunberg, have shown the world that young people are willing to fight for their future. Their voices are loud, and they are demanding bold actions. But this fight requires all of us, no matter our age, nationality, or background. In closing, the climate change is not just an environmental issue, it's a human issue. Why? It affects our healthy, our economy, and our future. But it is also a tremendous opportunity for us to reimagine the world to create a cleaner, more sustainable, and just society. The window of opportunity is closing. But if we act now, we can still mitigate the worst effects and build better, more resilient world. It's up to us, every one of us, to rise to the challenge, to make the hard decisions, and to fight for the planet and future generations.